Welcome to the Concord Public Library, where a wide range of resources are available to you. In addition to books and magazines, the library has a large collection of music on CD and movies on DVD. Through our webpage, you can access electronic resources such as our online catalog, downloadable audiobooks, and research databases. In addition, the library has many other services such as interlibrary loan and reserves for books that are checked out. Throughout the year, there is informational and recreational program for people of all ages, and the library staff is ready and available to help you access these resources and services. But first, the library staff would like to tell you more.
The Concord Public Library owns audiobooks in two formats, cassette and compact disc, or CD. We currently purchase only the CD format, but we also have over 600 titles in cassette format. Altogether, we have over 1,500 spoken word titles, including classic fiction, mysteries, science fiction, bestsellers, instructional, nonfiction titles, and titles for children. Titles can be checked out for 28 days. In addition to the books on cassette and CD in the library also subscribes to the New Hampshire Downloadable Audiobook Service, offered by the New Hampshire State Library. This service is available 24/7 for any Concord Public Library cardholder who has a computer and access to the internet. Cardholders can use this service to check out up to 3 titles at one time. The user downloads the titles to their PC computer and then listens to them on the computer or transfers the titles to a Windows Media audio compatible listening device, including iPods, for their listening pleasure wherever they may be. Some of the titles are also burnable to CDs. There are over 3,200 titles available, including biography, thrillers, children's literature, language instruction, nonfiction, and young adult fiction. The downloadable collection also includes over 300 titles in a new MP3 format that's compatible with Apple computers. If you don't have time to sit down and read, but would like to listen to a good book while you commute to work, or run the family taxi service, or exercise, please stop by the library to see what we have to offer. We'd love to see you.
Howdy folks, I'm Bob, spokesbearer for the Concord Public Library. It's that time of year when people are thinking about hitting the road for a little rest and relaxation. If your family's planning a road trip, the Concord Public Library can make things even more fun and relaxing. Why, we can guide you to Egypt or the Amazon or the moon. Shucks, we can even lead you to Hogwarts. And the sights you'll see, dragons and dancing pigs, and maybe even a fairy or two. How can this be, you ask? Well, we've got a whole passel of audiobooks. Those are stories on CDs. All you have to do is pop one into your CD player and you'll go on all kinds of adventures while the miles just melt away. Before you know it, you'll be at your destination, relaxed and ready to have some adventures of your own. So come on down to the Concord Public Library and take a look at the great audiobooks we have. You can even go on our website and browse through our catalog. And parents, just so you know, you might just hear the young'uns say, "Can we keep driving a little more?" instead of, "Are we there yet?"
A Long, Long Time Ago and Essentially True by Brigid Pasulka. Setting, Southern Poland, 1939 to 1947 and mid-1990s. Pasulka, a teacher and daughter of Polish immigrants, weaves together a messy family history in parallel tales of the Polish grandmother Nila during World War II and her granddaughter Beata after the fall of communism. The grandparents survived the horrors of war only to be separated after the war once they moved to Krakow and are married. After Nila dies, the granddaughter leaves the family's hillside village and follows in her grandparents' footsteps to Krakow, and with hopes of finding a more prosperous life in the new Poland after the fall of communism. Pasulka, a Dartmouth grad, is an award-winning short story writer. In her first novel, the two stories she tells have a fairy tale quality. In alternating chapters, she slowly reveals the details of Neela and Beata's stories and how all the characters are connected, while keeping you wondering what will happen next. Besides the revealing observations of the naive Beata about everyone in her new world, there is a sense of mystery as well. What exactly is the author building up to? There is a loss and a surprise, as well as hope for a better future for Beata. Having recently traveled to this area of Poland, I enjoyed the stories and gained an understanding of what the times during the war and after the fall of communism were like. Annie's Ghost by Steve Luxenberg, nonfiction. Steve Luxenberg, an editor with the Washington Post, grew up hearing his mother Beth tell everyone she knew that she was an only child. Imagine his surprise when he learns from a social worker that his 78-year-old mother has mentioned she had a disabled sister who was sent away at age 2 and that she doesn't know what happened to her. Since Beth's health is precarious, Steve and his half-sister decide not to confront her with any questions about this sibling. After Beth dies, Steve's brother discovers an Annie Cohen buried with their mother's parents and asks Steve who Annie was. The journalist in Steve takes over and he attempts to find out all he can about Annie and why his mother kept this secret from everyone. His first surprise is when he learns that Beth's sister Annie was 52 years old when she died, and that she was institutionalized at age 21, not 2 as Beth had said. Along the way, Steve learns much about his immigrant Russian Jewish family and living relatives he never knew existed, how the mental health system evolved from the beginning of the 20th century to the present, what life was like in his ancestors' Russian village, as well as what the trip across the ocean and life growing up in an immigrant family in Detroit would have been like. Annie's Ghost is a real-life mystery as well as a memoir of Steve's family and a social history of the mental health system in the United States.
Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, Volume 1 in the Rainwilds Chronicles. The queen dragon was blue and silver and blue again, depending on how the sunlight struck her. She was easily 3 times the size of the young dragons hatching. She dropped the limp deer that hung from her jaw. "Eat," she instructed the dragons. But the queen dragon disappears shortly after the dragons emerge from their cocoons, and they cannot hunt for themselves. The Rainwilds Council hires hunters to feed them, but game becomes scarce after several years. Fearing what hungry dragons would do, the council devises a plan to move the dragons. Outcast youngsters are recruited as dragon keepers and will travel with their dragons to the ancestral home. A self-appointed dragon expert will also go with them up the river. The journey will be difficult, with no promise of return. This is their story. This is another imaginative fantasy by the author of the Tawny Man series. Book 2, Dragon Haven, will be released in May. Thank you. Another imaginative fantasy. Oh, geez. Another imaginative fantasy by the author of the Tawny Man series. Book 2, Dragon Haven, will be released in May. Energy Every Day by Ron Woods and Chris Jordan. The authors of this well-researched book aim to help individuals of all ages increase their personal energy levels. The book consists of 3 distinct sections. The first section examines the importance of energy management, the roles of nutrition, hydration, sleep, and movement, and the importance of motivation. The next section assesses readiness for change, along with determining current fitness levels. It also describes how to create a personal fitness plan. The final section of the book shows how to put the plan into action, along with descriptions and photographs of a wide variety of exercises. Many of the exercises require no special equipment, while others incorporate resistant bands, stability balls, and weights. The book concludes with information on ways to measure success and tips on avoiding burnout and other barriers to success. A great book for those looking for practical information about increasing and maintaining personal fitness.
Public Internet access at the Concord Public Library. Internet access is available for the public according to the policy and the guidelines of the library's Public Internet and Computer Use Policy. Concord Public Library cardholders may use their library card numbers to log on to any of the computers located in the reference room and are allowed 2 45-minute sessions per day. Non-card holders may obtain a pass at the reference desk to log on to the designated guest computer for 1 30-minute session per day. Wireless Internet access. The Concord Public Library is pleased to offer free wireless Internet access. Battery-operated laptops may be used throughout the building. The study room has carols with easy plug availability. No registration or sign-up is required. Printing capability is not included. Users are responsible for equipment configuration. Users should refer to their owner's manuals or other support services offered by their device manufacturer if they have questions. If additional assistance is needed, users should contact the manufacturer of their hardware or software. Wireless bookmarks are available at the reference desk with PC or Mac instructions.
Ahoy, readers! I'm Bob, spokesbearer for the Concord Public Library, and I'm here to invite you to set sail for our summer reading program, Make a Splash, Read. Kids will explore the world of water and water fun through stories, crafts, games, and other activities about oceans, rivers, lakes, and aquariums, and the critters that live there. Kids might even create a sea serpent, do some science experiments, sail the high seas, and discover an ocean of books. Registration for the summer reading program begins on June 21st and is open to kids from preschool to 6th grade. For more information, you can call the library at 225-8670 or just go to our website. But whatever you do, come on board for the summer reading program. You'll have a whale of a good time.
Here If You Need Me, a true story by Kate Braystrup. When Kate Braystrup's husband, a Maine state trooper, dies in an accident, she takes up his dream to become a Unitarian Universalist minister. Kate, a mother of 4, became a minister and is now the chaplain for the Maine Game Warden Service. She helps parents during searches for lost children, gives the news about the death of a loved one to others, and counsels the wardens after tragic events. Kate is there with her compassion and spiritual guidance when it's needed most. Kate writes about her grief, but also weaves in a lot of humor in her straightforward account of her journey. This is a remarkable memoir. I highly recommend it.
Ragtag by Carl Wolf Morgenlander. Sound the alarm! Boston is under attack! Boston had been a peaceful city since the formation of the Feathered Alliance, the governing body of citybirds committed to living together peacefully. But the city is being threatened by the Talon Empire, raptors moving to the city when their forest homes were lost to land developers. The Talon Empire is not interested in peace, but plans to take the city by force. The rescue of the city birds rests in the hands, well, the wings, of an unlikely hero, a happy-go-lucky, irresponsible swallow named Ragtag. The plot of the story is reminiscent of Brian Jake's Redwall series, although the characters and settings are quite different. As in Redwall, the animals have human emotions and personalities, and the action revolves around battles and survival. The good guys and the bad guys are clearly distinct, but the story still allows room for personal growth and change and reconciliation. Families familiar with the major landmarks of Boston will enjoy Ragtag's setting. Significant scenes take place in the belfry of Old South Church, the public gardens at Boston Common, and along the Charles River. Readers will recognize other distinctive features and areas of the city as well. Ragtag is a classic hero's tale, sure to appeal to middle elementary readers who like action and adventure. A word of caution though, this book does contain violence that involves bloodshed and even death, so might not be the best choice for children who are sensitive to such things.
The Year of the Goat, 40,000 Miles and the Quest for the Perfect Cheese by author Margaret Hathaway. Margaret and Carl live in New York City, but they dream of someday having their own goat farm. They quit their jobs and give themselves a year, the Year of the Goat, to travel across the country and learn about goats. They go to goat farms, goat conventions, goat auctions, goat barbecues, and eat dozens of different goat cheeses. They even go on camping trips with pack goats carrying their gear. There are lots of good times and luscious cheeses, but also some bumps along the way. Will this couple survive and find their own green pastures? This is a fun, unusual road trip, and it will make you want to go to a local farmer's market and start buying goat cheese.
Hi, my name's Sharon Bonner and I work at the Concord Public Library in the Technical Services Department, and today we're here to talk a little bit about ordering and receiving of materials. Each reference librarian is responsible for their own section. They send their requests down in a variety of ways. They read journals that they mark and I order from, or they do white slips where they just fill out slips, purchase requests if a patron comes in and would like them to consider a title to order. And all those orders are sent off to different vendors. After the materials are received, they are all unboxed and checked in, and the bills are then passed on to the secretary to be paid by City Hall. And now we have trucks of books. Now we have to go to the state library and try to get a bib record for them. If there's not a bib record available on the state library, we have to go through other means to bring one in. Bib record is all the information from the back of the title page: author, title, ISBN, publisher, copyright pages, and subjects to search by, etc. That all has to go into your bib record to make it more easy for you to find the items in the computer. Once they are brought in, then the item record is created. We barcode the item. It's cataloged with either a Dewey number or fiction, mystery, wherever it belongs in the library so that you can find it. And now the books move on to the processor, who has to put book jackets on them, the stickers, the security tapes, and then they are ready to go upstairs for you. And if it has a reserve, those items are moved ahead faster than the other ones. We create a list and try to find those items and put them ahead of others. And that's how the books at the Concord Public Library are made available for our patrons to check out and enjoy.
For more information, call the library or visit our webpage. But I hope that you will plan to visit the library soon, either the Pennacook Library on Merrimack Street in Pennacook or the main library in downtown Concord. There's much for you to use at your library.